You are listening to I Am Refocused Radio with your host, Shemaiah Reed. This show is designed to inspire you to live your purpose and regain your focus. And now, here's your host, Shemaiah Reed.
Welcome back to I Am Refocused Radio. We are here again today. We are sitting down with our special guest today, Kurt Avery. He's the founder of Sawyer Products, a company that literally saving lives through innovation, from outdoor protection to global humanitarian work. Sawyer has become a name that is not just giving hope for millions around the world. He is going to share with us his powerful story behind the scenes. His story is one of faith, purpose, and practical impact. When we think about the opportunities to change lives and give people opportunity to do great things, this is a guy you want to listen to today. I want to say to you, man, appreciate you being on the show. Hope you're doing well, man. How you doing?
We're doing great. Great. Of course, living in Florida is not a bad place this time of the year anyway. So, yeah, we're having a lot of fun, actually. It's very rewarding what we're doing.
Well, let's talk about your mission and your mindset. What was the original vision that led you to create Sawyer Products?
I had a pretty good storied career in business with brand names that you would recognize if I mentioned them. And I did some good stuff. And one day I was standing outside the president's office and watching him, listening to him take total credit for everything I did. Didn't even throw me a bone. I said, I see how this corporate world works. I'm out of here. I'm going to just start something myself. So that was my motivation.
When you think about your business philosophy, rooted in giving, like I said, a global impact earlier in the intro, what was your guide? What was your North Star, so to speak, as far as helping you stay grounded in leading throughout the years?
Well, first of all, the path we took, products led us to the next one, and the next one. And then we started realizing that, wow, these products really can make a difference. We do insect repellents and water filtration, and half the world dies from one or the other. I mean, we just proved something out with our permethrin product saving babies from malaria, and then we got the water filtration where we just can eliminate sickness. And so we just said, gosh, we really got the stuff. What do I need it for? We're fine. I'm a humble farm boy, so no heel hauls in heaven. Let's just go ahead and do this. We've had a lot of God stories going on in this thing, and it sounds like this is what He would like us to do, and He's been blessing us quite well. So, how do you not do this stuff when you got the products that will just save thousands, hundreds of thousands of lives a year? How do you not do it?
If people go to your website, Sawyer.com, they can see just the amazing impact that you've been doing. And I'm sure that comes with a polished team. So when you think about leadership and inside the organization, what are some of the things that you try to keep front and center for your team to sustain the success?
Yeah, a couple of things. One, we won't sell second-rate products. Every product we have is the single best product in the world for its application. You have to set your standard there that everything you have is the best. Secondly, I hire the best. I mean, I have the best employees in the world. There's nobody. And why would you not want to work here? We have good enough margins. We pay well, but we're changing the world. I mean, who doesn't want to join a company that's changing the world? So those are motivations, and then we're all in. Everybody in the company's all in on doing this and making these products available to change the world. So, and I delegate. I'm a great delegator. You can't do it yourself. You get the best people and you say, go for it. I mean, what do I know about Generation Alpha? I mean, I don't know about them. I don't know Gen Z. I don't understand any of them, but my people do. I just know we have to understand them. And I let my people figure it out. So we're not that big, but we got quality.
Once again, I have you on talking to our guest today, Kurt Avery. He's the founder and president of Sawyer Products. Go to their website, Sawyer.com. My next question for you is, let's get into the filtration system you kind of touched on earlier. How do you see your product different from what's on the market, and how does that difference keep you going?
Well, we have two three very distinctive differences from anything else that's out there. First, the technology came from hollow fiber membranes. If you can clean blood, you can clean water. So we revolutionized that and brought that technology to the world. But along the way, we ended up with some very serious technology advantages. First, think of them as little hoses with holes in them. So our holes are smaller than anybody else's. So they're so small that nothing that makes you sick can get through those things. Nothing biological. We stop typhoid, cholera, Giardia, E. coli, all those things. We stop cholera dead in its tracks same day. And that's a nasty one. That one you can be healthy in the morning, dead in the afternoon, but not if you're using ours. So you can't get sick. Viruses get through, but they're not in the water. Viruses are airborne and body fluids. So basically, once you use this filter, we're pretty confident that we can say you can't get sick. And that's huge when you go to places of the world where basically a third of the people are sick at any one time. So we wipe out 95% of all the sickness within 2 weeks. It's gone, just gone. You're not sick anymore. Babies don't get diarrhea and die. I mean, we save, some places lose a third of their kids. Well, now they don't lose them anymore. The second key element to that is our fibers are thicker. There's actually, you can go to the website and see the technology. We'll show it to you. Our hoses, the construct of the hose itself is so strong that you can keep back flushing it. You can't back flush other filters. We've already proven 100,000 gallons before and even then, that's just what we say, because nobody's going to drink 100,000 gallons anyways, but theoretically, there's no end to it. We have filters that have been out there for 15 years, serving people every day. Just clean it, use it, clean it. You can't do that with other ones. If you were to robustly backflush all the other filters out there, you just blow them apart. You break the hoses. And lastly, to make sure of that, because there are always mistakes in manufacturing, we check every filter 3 times, not just random, but every filter is checked 3 times. 1, to make the holes are no bigger than we say they are, and 2 more times to make sure there's no leaks with the O-ring or the sonic weld. So that's a big part of the expense. But how do you not? You can't go to a village somewhere in the world and say, 90% of you are going to be okay. The other 10% you're going to get sick. No, you got to go in there and say you can't get sick. And you got 10 years. So we're down now where we can do, for as little as 30 cents, we can give somebody 10 years of clean water. I mean, that's amazing. You can hook them up to taps and just get to 500 gallons a day out of one filter. And these filters, they're under $20. They're smaller than a Coke can. It's, how do you not share that? And we can do that because we do so many. Other people make 10,000, 20,000. We do millions of filters a year. So we were able to drive the cost down and be able to, and the charity side of the business, we're a for-profit company, and we do very well in the U.S. marketplace for repellents and water. But the overseas stuff is no, we give away most of that, or sell it at below cost or at cost or whatever. So we always say we give away 90% of our profits. We actually give away a lot more than that because we don't let it become a profit, which is, I only can do that because I own 100% of the company. So I don't have to. I would rather give the money away than give it to the IRS. We do it all legal. We'll give unto Caesar what is Caesar, so we won't cheat the government. But nobody says I have to make a profit. The bank's happy, we're happy, and we're able to do this. Got to do it. How do you not?
When you talk about working with nonprofits, you partner over, I think the number's right, over 140 different nonprofits. And with that, is there a particular story in the field that comes to mind that highlights the impact that you're doing around the world?
Oh, there's so many stories, and actually some of them will be on the website so you can read them. But yeah, we do all the big ones, Samaritan's Purse, Compassion International, World Vision, Red Cross, but there's a whole bunch of little ones too. So we're pretty much the filter everybody's going to take with them because, again, nobody's going to get sick and it's going to last. So the value proposition is there. I'll tell you what really put a fire under us. We were playing around with this one time, and way back, I'm talking 2008 or so, and we got the story came back that, we were passing out filters really early stage then. And the grandma said, if you were only here 2 weeks ago, my grandson would be alive. And I'm sitting there going, oh my gosh, what? It's a privilege, but it's also a burden. You got to do it. How do you not do that? So, yeah, we had another one. We went into a missionary goes into a village. He sees that he's there for a week. They don't name their kids till they're 3 years old. And he says, well, why not? He said, well, because we know if they make it to 3, they're going to live. We're going to lose a lot of them before they get to age 3. So he goes back, puts in the filters throughout the whole village, comes back again. They name them all at birth because once the filters showed up, they didn't lose any of their kids. I mean, can you imagine losing a third of your children? So that's quite an honor. So I have lots of stories like that. I mean, it's so impactful.
To have that kind of weight, I mean, you chime in. Do you feel that is weight? And if so, how do you keep your team morale high and understanding that, man, there's a bigger picture here. Like, we really are impacting lives.
It's both. It is a heavy weight, but it's also an incredible privilege. If you step back and you look at this what we're doing now, I mean, we do 2 to 5 million people a year giving them water for the very first time. It's so life changing. It's not just a sickness. We save them money. Their brains are alive. The villages calm down. The violence goes away. And it's all published. We have the results published in medical journals and on our website. So it's a total transformation of communities. How do you not? So it is a heavy weight, but it's also an incredible honor. I mean, this is up there with vaccines or antibiotics. I mean, it's one of the biggest changes you can make in lives. And, you got 800 billion people out there, but we're just doing a couple million at a time. But you just got to do it. And so the privilege part of it, I mean, God chose this little bitty company to bring this technology. Remember, there's no infrastructure involved. You don't have to build water treatment plants. You don't have to build piping systems to the house. Whatever they drink now, we make it safe. It's the lowest cost way to change the world that you can come up with. I mean, 30 cents a person for 10 years. I mean, how do you not do that? So we're really at a takeoff point. And yes, we do have a Sawyer Foundation. So the company, when I exit the market, we like to say, either mentally or physically, the thing carries on. So the Sawyer Foundation will own Sawyer Products, kind of like Hershey Foundation owns Hershey chocolate. So it will carry on. And the Sawyer Foundation is a 501c3, so you can get a tax receipt if you want to donate. And every single dollar that goes to Sawyer Foundation will go overseas. And you probably can pick your continent or some of your things. We're in 80 countries, so we're pretty much everywhere. And there's no overhead at Sawyer Foundation. Sawyer pays all that, and it's very minimal to begin with. And then we also donate there too. And we donate filters, we donate cash. But anybody wants to chip in and join, they can go to the foundation, make a donation, get a tax deduction for it, and it will go overseas, 1 for 1.
So again, this is I Am Refocused Radio, and talking to our guest today, Kurt Avery. My next question for you is: we mentioned nonprofits, but you also have built alliances with churches and governments around the world. What have you learned about doing those type of collaborations on that high level?
Well, the church part of it's a lot of fun. I mean, 80% of the overseas work is done by believers. So, they're the one. We call them the sandals on the ground. They're the ones that are doing the heavy lifting. There's some non-religious, secular ones that do some of it, but 80% of it is done through the church. That's the charities. So governments are interesting. Customs get to be tricky. Sometimes they're kind of like we were back in the 1700s, where the custom house was a profit center. So they can get tricky, but usually we can work through them. But we now are doing projects with OAS, Organization of American States, that they are used to get their money from USAID. Now they'll get it from the State Department or whatever. But they work in all of Central South America and the Caribbean, 37 countries. They have all the connections. They know every U.S. ambassador to those 37 countries and every ambassador from those 37 countries to the U.S. So we are now working with the school. So, for instance, in Honduras, we have a program where the government is going to pass out the filters to the school kids. Okay, we donate the filters. and the military distributes the filters, but now the kid comes to school and the teacher will teach them how to use the filter. Then the parent comes in and they teach them again. Benefit to them is now the kid's not going to miss 30 days a year being sick. So they're measuring that, but then we also are using the government to perpetuate these things. And we're going to do all of Honduras in the next couple of years. We're going to start doing big countries. We've done little countries. Now we're going to do big countries. And I think we'll get everybody's attention that way. Then we go to the churches and we set up water stations. And there's Honduras, there's some 20,000 churches that we can work with, little churches, obviously. And we put one of our filters in there. If they have running water, we can get 200 to 500 gallons a day per faucet. And then people can just come there every day, pick up their clean water, jerry can, 5 gallons, 2 gallons, whatever. The water stays stable for about 3 to 4 days. So they're going to be partners with us. I mean, they want that. They would love to have their parishioners come to the church once a day to get water. I mean, that's the contact they want. And these are small local churches. So that's the plan. And then eventually we can pass them out. We're now to the point where we're not just a filter, we're an entire system, because you have to change behavior. If you don't change behavior, you haven't really made progress. So we now have QR codes on there. You can hit it with your smartphone, and you can go to our help desk, and our help desk in 18 languages now. And we know if you come from Brazil, it'll be Portuguese. You come from Honduras, it's going to be Spanish or whatever. So we will, in videos, show you how to do it, how to apply it, and teach you how to take care of not just the filter, but yourself, because there's a lot of other ways to get sick, so there's wash best practices thing, washing your hands, washing your vegetables, things like that. So it's way beyond just a filter now. And then we have WhatsApp, so we can talk to them, they can talk to us, they can come and they got a question. I can't do this. I can't, it's clogged. Why is it? There's reasons. It could be calcium. It could be mud or whatever. We show them how to unlock it and get it going. So it's not just a filter. It's a whole behavior changing system that we have, which nobody else has that. So you have to do it, though. We've done so many of these over the years that we've learned what it takes to change that behavior. And you change behavior. I mean, the whole family dynamics, we can save the woman 3 hours a day not dealing with water. They don't have to boil it, so they're not burning wood or fossil fuels. I mean, it's a huge green product if you want to look at it that way. Now they have clean water. They're starting businesses. Women can start cooking. They can make tortillas and things that they never could because they didn't have clean water. So we set free businesses. And if you've ever watched Survivor, your brain comes back to life when you're not dehydrated. You can have all the water you want now. So total life changing.
This is awesome, man. I love the story dynamic, and I love, it sounds like you got into something that is like once in a lifetime, man. I mean, who can say that they're able to do something that is this much successful, not just in ways of a business being in profit margin, but it's successful in humanity terms, where you get to really change people's lives for the better.
Yeah. Well, it's not me. I mean, there's a lot of people involved in this. You got the engineers, you got my people, you got all the charities. I mean, if we didn't have 140 charities, how would any of this have happened? So, and we're at every disaster, like in Helene, when it hit the Carolinas areas, we sent 100,000 filters up there. We got there long before vehicles could find people. The hikers were carrying them up there. Anytime there's a cyclone, typhoon, or tornado outside the United States, our people bring it in ahead of time, because even day 2, you got to have water. Samaritan's Purse keeps 2 plane loads of our stuff ready at all times to respond to any worldwide disaster. So we do it's a lot of things going on. So
once again, this is I Am Refocused Radio, talking to our guest today. Make sure you go to Kurt's website. It is Sawyer.com. My next question is for your book. I cannot skip your book, man. So you have a book that people can get online. I'm sure they can go right to the website and get a copy. But if you can, before we sign off here, talk about your book, Sawyer Think, and what inspired you to get that out there.
Yeah, also you can go to Amazon, but as always, always go to Amazon. I have a pretty good storied career. I'm not too bad in marketing. Obviously, we got here because of that. I went to Northwestern University, got my MBA there. So I have all these little tidbits, and internally I have what we call Grasshopper U. You have much to learn, Grasshopper. So I would be teaching these principles to summer interns and to our employees, and they kept telling me, you got to post, you got to share this with other people. So finally they badgered me into it. So the book Sawyer Think is how we think, how Sawyer got to where Sawyer is. So there's 25 business principles in there, very heavy on the marketing side, but there's other business concepts, strategic planning, thinking, naming things, creative destruction, all kinds of them. Some of them you get somewhere else, but there's a few in there that are my stuff that I kind of developed over the years and stole or whatever. So there's 25 concepts. The purpose of the book is, and some people called it an MBA in 200 pages. It's to make your business more successing. Can we do something to help you think ahead, think down the road, do things to fix or start a business try and avoid the pitfalls that you didn't think about because now you thought about them ahead of time. So we're trying to make your business better. When your business is better, we also want to teach you how to use it for charity. So a lot of things people don't think things through. Like I use a restaurant as an example. It's not just the leftover food. It's the fact that you can buy it wholesale and give it away as opposed to people going to the grocery store or whatever. So whatever business you're in, the world needs that somewhere, whether it's in the United States or whether it's somewhere else. So we want to make your business more profitable and then show you little tricks that you can use to have your impact locally or globally, whatever works for you. I mean, it's, the Jesus model, Judea, Samaria, othermost parts of the world. And so, wherever you feel the need to work, if you have a more profitable business, you have the skill set. And even just passing on your skill sets work too. There's something called BAM, Business as Ministries. You can teach other people how to be accountants. You can teach other people how to, run a business or whatever. Farmers, there's a lot of that stuff going on. So you can impact the world more than you think you can. So let us first help you make more money, and then let's inspire you to use it for the good.
And speaking of for the good, my last question I want to give you is when you think about faith-based business owners out there, would you have any words of wisdom, just general words of wisdom that you give to them owners out there to balance purpose and profit without compromising? Yeah,
wow, Shakula. First, have a big God. Look what God did. I'm in the universe, whatever. So don't put them in a box. If you put them in a box, you'll do little things. You get outside the box, think outside the box. Well, you got one life. Why not use it? Right? I mean, this is America. You're not going to go to jail. There's no debt or prison. I mean, get a solid idea. The book will help you, prove that it's good or the right thing. But do it. Just do it. Quit thinking about it. Do it. What can go wrong? I mean, you got one life to spend. So what? You can't, there's no U-Hauls in heaven, so might as well use it up here. There's a school that says let the last check bounce. I like that, except we're not going to let it bounce because we're going to continue with the foundation. But why are you afraid? I mean, this is the God of the universe will back you up. What are you afraid of? Why are you thinking so little? Be crazy. So what? The book will tell you some stories where you think I was pretty crazy. I mean, Gulf War I, we were doing the sunscreens. We were making 2,000 bottles, hand filling them every week, and their contract was 200,000 bottles a week, and we did it. We just did it. I said, yeah, I could do that. I've done that so many times. Why not? Why not?
That's amazing, man. Like these stories, they're so good. Has anyone ever tried to do a documentary on you? Like, is there any documentary films out there on you? Because this seems like this needs to be like pushed out everywhere. This is amazing stuff you're sharing right now.
Well, we'll let you try that.
Oh, man. Well, if I can live up to that.
I'm an introvert, so I let, and the other thing is I don't want the glory. I live in Florida. There's too much lightning here. If I take God's glory, I'm going to get whacked. So you got to give him the glory.
That's awesome. Well, I appreciate you sharing this insight, because I think there's so much value that can be learned from your personal experience, not just as an individual, but like you said, your team behind you. And I believe that is every brand secret is a good, solid team. There's highs and lows, but the main focus is we push through. And when you push through, amazing things happen. So I will give you the last word. If you go ahead.
Go ahead. Well, first, it helps to have a great wife. Sometimes many wives would have thrown me overboard or told me don't do that, but she's game. She has a big faith too. It's been quite a ride, though. I tell you. I mean, you talk about a fulfilling life. I mean, my gosh, to be able to do this, and what a privilege. So everybody else can do it. Just go for it. Make sure your idea is solid. You know, it wasn't like I thought through all this stuff. Sometimes the doors open, sometimes they close, but here we are.
I want to tell people to make sure to get a copy of his book. And if you could say one thing to inspire a business owner out there who may listen to this and watch this online, just your advice based on your own personal experience, being the field yourself and being around a good team, what will you say will make a person stand apart from the noise and the crowd in the business world?
One thing is, know what you don't know and know what you do know. So you got to understand your skill set and don't pretend you can do something you can't. That's when you fill in around, and don't fill around with people who agree with you. Fill it in with people who believe in the mission, but also can see things and find those mistakes and pitfalls that you're not seeing. And I'm big on creative destruction, always looking down the corner. What's going to happen? And there's a chapter in the book on that from Slumpeter. He knew that it just, I don't believe in unintended consequences. They come when you don't think it through ahead of time. So I'm a strategic planner by nature. That was my training. So you're thinking ahead, always thinking ahead, looking for the options. Don't get stuck with a strategic plan that you won't waver from, because the second, as they say in the war, the second the first bullet flies, the whole plan changes. So you have to be flexible, but you have to be skilled. So don't try to do stuff you're not good at. Leave that to others, and you just make sure. I'm a visionary. I don't try to do everything because I can't. That's why I filled in around me with people who can. My job is to keep looking ahead and seeing what the opportunities are and what the pitfalls are and avoiding them. So skill sets are very important. Be very honest with yourself. Don't ask your relatives, but ask some other business people what your limitations are. So you got good advice and you work around that. But go for it. I mean, why not?
Well, I know this, man. If people watch this and listen to this, they might have to listen to it and watch it again, because this is like a boost of motivation and perfect way to end the week on a Friday. So, like always, I want to say to our guest, Kurt Avery, appreciate your time, man.
Well, thank you for giving me the time. I appreciate it.